Oh, sorry. You are totally my type. Heraclitus? Cutter.
Normally I wouldn't start a video by going off on a tangent, but making videos for this game is almost my perfect nightmare. I can't go a single day without somebody telling me I'm pronouncing something wrong, even when I'm pronouncing something right, like Tales of Exilia, and now I've got to say Crystar, which is apparently pronounced Crystar and not Crystar, even though it's all but identical to a word you may have heard before, crystal. It doesn't even stop there, because this word appears in the game as well. Don't get the wrong idea though, because in-game it's actually pronounced Idia, and it's kind of like a crystallized form of human memory and emotion, I guess. But apart from this game's pronunciation rules clearly being out to get me, I'm actually really enjoying it so far. Crystar has been fully localized with both English text and audio, which is getting less and less common with these smaller JRPG releases. There is also Japanese audio available if you prefer. The English dub though is mostly pretty good. There are some really great performances.
That won't ever disappear. I violated your body, Ray.
And the only minor issue worth mentioning is a few lines here and there from the main character that don't sound too great. I have a feeling this is more to do with the writing itself than the voice work though, especially because the main character quite often has to deliver lines in quite an exaggerated emotional way.
Get away! Get away from Mirai! I won't forgive you! No matter what, I'll never forgive you, Anamnesis!
If you want to see the beginnings of the story in action, you can head over to my gameplay video, but I'll give you the cliff notes. A girl wakes up in a strange realm, unable to remember who or even what she is, but soon discovers she is Rei Hatada. More worryingly though, she remembers she had a sister, Mirai. Rei finds her sister, but the reunion is short-lived as Mirai plunges into the abyss below after being attacked by a ferocious monster. This hellscape is called Purgatory. It's full of trapped human souls, monsters, guardians, and other magical beings. In order to save Mirai, Rei signs a contract with two such magical beings, forcing her into Purgatory to defeat monsters and collect Idia. Losing your sister is obviously very sad, and apparently Rei wasn't exactly a ray of sunshine before this all happened, so she cries a lot, which is why this is pronounced Crystar and not Crystar. A lot of the game's mechanics and mythos revolve around crying, but not in an annoying way. In combat you build up tears, which can be used to summon a guardian to unleash big attacks, and back in the real world you'll sit down and have a little cry while listening to the anguish of poor lost souls from Purgatory, which turns them into equipable enhancements. So the crying thing is more of an aesthetic because the mechanics are all fairly traditional RPG things you've likely seen before, like a special attack meter which builds up in combat, or a crafting system that needs items to be purified or revealed. And wait a minute, did I just say real world? Yeah, so after Rei signs the contract, she isn't confined to Purgatory and only heads there to complete missions. You'll actually spend quite a bit of time in your room in the real world. Part of the story happens here, crafting happens here, changing outfits happens here, among a bunch of other things, including giving your glorious pet doggo a good old pat. I really like the aesthetic and design of Crystar. The characters all look great, and there's this fantastic mix of darkness and pure magical girl sparkliness that brings the game to life. Even heading into the music menu to listen to some tracks from the game conjures up this sad girl aesthetic as Rei slumps down beside her bed and plays the music on her phone. I guess the only thing I'm not completely sold on just yet is the combat. I'd classify it as just fine. It is a real-time action combat system with no separate battle screens. When you're in Purgatory, your sword is drawn and you're ready to fight. It's far from the worst combat system in the world, and it feels better once you unlock enemy targeting a couple of hours in. It's just a little on the simplistic side, with light and heavy attacks that can be strung into combos, a dodge, dash, and up to 4 unique skills which can be assigned to R1 plus one of the face buttons. It seems like it will start to get a little repetitive, but you will eventually unlock 4 different playable characters which should help give some variety. And just before finishing the video out, I do have to quickly mention this because I know you're all going to ask. At the moment, I do not know the extent of the Sony issued censorship. I know there was something like 0.22 seconds cut from the opening movie, but I'm unsure what else, if anything, has been changed. I have reached out to Spike Chunsoft for some clarification, which I'll be sure to update you on, but for the time being I will say that nothing looks obviously censored, which is why I simply don't know more about the censorship. There are certainly no quick hack jobs that I've seen so far, like big light beams or extra large underwear added, and everything looks, plays and feels quite natural and in the spirit of the game. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to dive back into Purgatory and slay me some more monsters with the anime equivalent of your younger sister when she went through that emo phase in high school. I'll see you all soon.
Thanks for the liking, subscribing, and the sharing!